Welcome to the very last episode of Really Playing Games, Starfinder against the Aeon throne. As a tribute for our final episode, I have a little something that I want to leave the group with. Just a little something to remember our fun times with this crew aboard the Red Abbey. We were just animals sent to drop off supplies. So we left Absalom and went for stranger skies. To see a good old friend and see that she was fine. But some space Nazis had something else in mind. Cause the Aslanti are dicks, you know. Because of them we fight. Ride the Red Abbey into the night. So we dealt with them and saved the colony, but figured out that there was some conspiracy, and they had our friend in some kind of crazy jail, and I doubt we could ever post her bail, cause the Aslanti are dicks, you know. Because of them we fight, ride the Red Abbey into the night. We set off yet again, this time from Station Z, to liberate our friend and see what's in her head. Some crazy engine that would let these assholes thrive. We all escaped, but barely made it out alive. Cause the Aslanti are dicks, you know. Because of them we fight. Ride the Red Abbey into the night. So then we tracked them down into their secret lair. Nearly died again cause they weren't playing fair. But now the room drive's ours to do with as we please. We kicked the Empire's ass, yeah, we brought them to their knees. Cause the Aslanti are dicks, you know. Because of them we fight. Ride the Red Abbey into the night. Oh, Murphy. Murphy, 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 Murphy. We're gonna miss you, Murphy. You're a beautiful orange fur, Murphy. Oh yeah, you're the best one, Murphy. Murphy, Murphy, Murphy. And I guess the rest are okay too.
So that's what I heard earlier when you were practicing. I was like, why is he playing Green Day?
I'm Graham, and I play the aforementioned Murphy, the Patra operative.
Also the guitar.
Yeah.
And also the guitar, thank you.
And I forgot what I was doing because I'm married to this guy. I'm Sedona. I'm Sarah, actually, and I play Sedona, the android mystic.
I am Brian, and I play Shardik, the uplifted bear technomancer.
I'm Garrett. I play Zyson, the Kostatha Solarian.
I'm Ross, playing Yulia, the Blanco Witch Warper.
I'm also Ross, and I'm playing Ozzy, the Ahsoka mechanic, and his robot minion Bobber.
And I'm Patrick. I'm the game master. Yeah.
That kind of a parody and therefore is under
Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use.
Yeah, I mean, well,
TM, fair use, fair use.
Fair use and parody are different. Parody. Very parody. So, I find that we don't need to do a lot of recap.
Uh.
Because we just had it sung to us.
That's multitasking.
Uh, so what happened most recently was you finished up your task of finding the rune drive, finding all the information you need to figure out what the rune drive is and how it works. You reprogrammed the rune drive to do some magic-y, techno-magic-y bullshit to, 1, burn it out, and 2, make your ship cooler.
Yeah.
So you made your way back to hopefully leave, and you were met by Sardat Zolan Ulivestra himself, the man who has been orchestrating this entire thing, appears to be in charge. And he was basically no match for you. He was really cocky and didn't think you were going to throw a bunch of spells at him, and he kind of crumpled very quickly. Before you could kill him, his armor started glowing, and he teleported away. He appeared to be unconscious at the time, but teleported away nevertheless. And seconds later, you heard explosions as a ship apparently began to bombard the asteroid. You made your way to the Red Abbey, plugged in the rune drive, and now you flip the switch. Ozzy, you're about the only person who knows how to make this stuff work. You hit the button, and you hear what initially sounds like your ship is powering up to take off. Your ship is really damaged, by the way. It has been hit. And as this ship in orbit continues to fire on this asteroid, you sort of hear and see the Red Abbey turn just this bright white. And it's this kind of surreal experience because everything around you is being rewritten. You don't fall, you can still breathe, and it actually only lasts maybe a couple of seconds. But it's like you blink, and everything around you is, well, mostly the same. You look down at the controls, they're about the same. The ship is in the same, structure inside. But if you look at the stats, it's a little more powerful. Shields are better. The computer is faster. You have some better hull plating. You take off. Murphy punches the takeoff button, and the ship takes off into space. And you see your adversary come about, and it looks like this.
Very blocky.
It's very Lego.
A quick scan.
Yeah,
It is blocky.
Lego ship.
Huh.
A quick scan shows it as reading as a ship called the Star Runner. And we are going to go into Starship combat, beginning with the engineering phase.
Okay.
Alright, girl, you've taken us this far. Just one more fight and then we can take a nice vacation.
You act 2 during this time.
And I am going to use a resolve point to overpower our our systems, which works like divert, but it can divert power to 3 systems at once.
All right, make your roll.
I'm going to use our computer, our fancy new Duo node, whatever.
Yes.
Pow, that's 25 versus a DC of 15 plus 1.5 times our
1.5
starship.
Which is a success.
Just me, yeah.
Awesome.
Woo!
So that diverts power to our engines, giving us a +2 speed for this turn. Power to science for a +2 to all science actions this turn, and to weapons to treat all rolled 1s as 2s.
All right, and their engineer is going to take an action
So I think Sedona is going to hop into the magic officer role, which also
yeah.
engineering
I did need you all. We'll go ahead and do this. Everybody does need to declare where they are.
Pilot.
Should have done that before you took off.
Science?
I guess weapons?
Obviously,
Engineer, as
Ozzy's
always.
engineering.
Yulia, well, up to Yulia.
I'm just trying to see I mean, probably captain, but like the new ones they added probably aren't relevant to me, right? No.
There's
First
magic
mate.
officer.
Magic
And-
officer and chief mate.
Chief mate,
Yeah.
that's right.
Chief mate.
The chief mate is all like
Oh, chief mate's just everything, right?
brains.
Chief mate is like engineering,
Athletics.
but with less manual, actually engineering work and more like duck
Well, let's stick with captain.
and grit.
You don't want to be
Alright.
number one.
So they have done
I am number 1.
their thing.
No, but number one is the chief mate.
That's number
Sedona, do something.
No.
Because the magic officer acts during the engineering phase, which is this phase.
Okay. I'm thinking. So how many hexes do our weapons like shoot normally? 'Cause
So we
th-
have
there's
our,
Eldritch Shot that I could do.
right,
There's
our Aeon torpedo
precognition.
launcher and our heavy nuclear missile launcher.
Mhm.
I think the Quell gun has a long range too. It's 20 hexes
They're
Okay.
just outside of our range.
currently. Yes.
So.
But we will move before
Yeah.
we shoot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So maybe like precognition to
Sure.
giving you a split second. I don't know. You get to.
Yeah, it'll give me a +2 to piloting, so we can go where we want to go.
Okay. So do I make a mysticism check?
Yeah.
Sorry, I've only played the gunner,
Using your
so
mystic
I'm
powers.
like.
Use your mystic powers.
No.
A 19 is a failure
Bleh.
because your DC is 20.
Sorry, Sedona. I know. Getting back into the swing of things.
No, I just suck at Starship Combat. It's really bad.
No, we
no.
blame roll 20, not Starship Combat.
Yeah,
There we go.
roll 20.
Yeah, because currently what? The rolls have been 4, 6, and 4.
I'm really bad at roll 20. Stupid roll 20.
Alrighty, helm phase.
Alright. I'll roll my piloting check to see where I'm at. Really? Really? I'm sorry, roll 20. I'm sorry I dissed you. So,
At this time,
Whoa.
The comms come open and you hear Ulivestra shout at you. You aliens will pay. I
This
will
is-
take back what is mine.
This
Back
is
off.
gonna go great.
That's gonna happen.
Really?
Hey,
Oh my.
jeez.
I would
got
like
a
to.
nat 20.
What the hell?
So that's just
I
his
see how this
diplomacy
goes.
check
So it hates us.
to help his pilot,
Jeez.
but he does get okay. So you, on a 1, you still do better than his
Yeah.
pilot.
Ace Pilot
Um,
Murphy.
Because we have an ace
So
pilot.
I am gonna go first then.
Well,
Yeah.
What was that? Was that a okay? That was a 2. All right. Let me just. Oh, that's what page I need to be on. Is the pilot stuff. I think. They are going to move. Let's see.
Are we within scanning range?
Oh yeah. So you can fire or scan outside of your range. You just take -2 penalties for each range increment.
What is
Um,
that range?
Do we have long range sensors?
Depends on what your sensors are.
We have medium range sensors, so they're 10 hexes.
So they are going
It's
to.
each increment is a
Oh, yeah.
minus penalty.
Science officer, do you want to act actually? Because I think their science officer does want to scan you.
I want to scan, but I want to wait till we're closer.
Because they do all their home actions.
yeah,
then
you
we
What
do
I
all our
want to
home
do is
actions.
wait till they
do it
move,
at any time.
but before we move. But I don't think I can do that. That seems like
where is science officer? 26. Okay, well that's pretty good.
Ha! See if I can beat them.
All right, they have
Let's scan.
They have thoroughly scanned you. That's piece of information. 1.5. 5 plus 1.5, so 15. So that's 3. They get 3 pieces of information on you. Yeah. So you're gonna go ahead and do it then, Shardik. You can do it at any time.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's the same, I think, because I get a +2 bonus
Yeah,
from
they're
the thing that he did.
yeah. So
Sounds
you
good.
get So you get 1. So you get 3 pieces of information. So you get the living crew complement, and it's going to be easier for me to reference it on paper because I didn't write that down. Did they not put the crew complement? It's a small light freighter. So we'll say crew complement of 6, because that's how many people there are. You get ship classification, size, speed, and maneuverability. It's a small light freighter, good maneuverability, speed of 10, and then you get defenses. AC is 20, TL is 19, current and maximum hull points are 50. Shields in each quadrant are 20, and core PCU value, if you really care, is 150. You can then get information about one weapon, including its firing arc and the damage it deals, according to this, starting with a weapon that uses the most PCU. Interesting. I think I did that randomly last time. Well, the weapon...
Always done that randomly, but I think one time we did it the right way.
Yeah,
And then we
so
forgot immediately afterwards.
the weapon that uses the most PCU is their light plasma cannon on their turret. Shock, their best guns and their turret.
Crazy.
Who knew?
Losers. Why would we do that?
Who
All
does
right,
that?
so they get a bunch of information about you because they're NPCs, and although I know your starship, they don't. And then they're going to move. Actually, so need to make a piloting check here. A 22 is a success on its evade. Yeah, so a success on evade. They're just going to move. There, and then turn that way. They want to turn so they're facing you, so. So that. That, and then just need to turn 1. They just want to face you. Okay, so move here, and then turn that way. Okay, that is their turn. Where would you like to move, and what would you like to do?
All right. So I've got a +2 bonus to speed because of overpower. So I am going to. So we've got 14 now, eh? Not quite there. So yeah, I'm just going to try the evade maneuver to boost our armor class and target lock. So I'm going to try to evade. 33, I think I do it.
It's a success.
Alright, so I'm going to go in our, let's see, maneuverability
Remember,
is
we have
good.
+2 speed.
Alright, I got 14 hexes to play with. I'm going to go 1. Oops. Oh, we have to hit E. That's right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. End up there.
Hey, get nice and close to him.
Okay, short range.
Yep. Come at me, you
And
piece of
you
shit.
are both within. Okay, so you're both within 2 arcs. Very good. All right. So, gunnery phase. I guess I will shoot first.
Yep.
So I have 2 shots.
Sure.
One is going to be with the turret. Not fire at will. Will use computer. Forward arc. 17.
No. Whoosh.
And then I will take my second shot, which I think let me check my computers. I think I have 2.
We also have a duo node, so there's a free node available, probably for Sison to use.
Excellent.
No, in computers, yes. And that one's an 18.
No.
Alrighty. So they miss.
Okay, time to return some fire, Captain.
That'd be a nuclear missile launcher.
You want the
So-
nuclear missile launcher? You really want the nuclear missile launcher? Okay.
So that the second one should be so they should actually be 18 and 19. It didn't actually factor in the computers bonus.
Negatory. 19 still misses.
I'd like to aid Zyson. So I just roll diplomacy. Is what I'm going to do.
Inspire him.
Be inspiring, Ross.
Make him feel happy,
Wait a minute.
feel confident.
You can always try demoralizing next time.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see which one is more effective on you. Okay, got it. Come on, one last battle, and we can all go home.
Yeah. Oh no.
Natural 1.
Aw.
You do not succeed.
I am not inspired.
That's
But I
so
can
many-
return fire.
She sounds a little maybe not confident about herself. Which one are you firing?
Let's go heavy missile, right? Heavy
Yeah.
nuclear? Yeah? Yeah?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, nuke him.
So we get
Unload.
they're in 2 of our arcs, so we get to
Yes.
decide which arc we're firing at, right?
Yes.
We could. I say we go for their starboard arc, unless the captain has another idea. Ultimately, it's up to Zyson, I think.
Yes, because you're in their forward and their starboard, you can hit either, and because they're in your forward and port, you can fire from either.
We're both in each other's port, forward and starboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
Should we
We're
go
replacing
starboard?
each other.
What do you think, Captain?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Missile to starboard. Fire. Yeah! Go, Zyson, go!
28 will hit for
50
Oh
damage!
my god! Hell
So you said starboard. Okay, that's 20 points.
good job.
So they take 30 damage. That is.
Hell yeah.
I want to do it.
It should. That's half of their health points, right? Because they only had 60.
Hold on. I accidentally moved the.
Or did they only have 50?
Had-
Yeah, the Control Z changed more than one thing.
It undid.
Um, Yeah, so that did 30 damage. Will it automatically do the crit thresholds? No, it won't. Okay, well. Well, that's 3 critical thresholds.
Hell yeah. Fuck you, Zardon.
Let me
If
remind
you do
myself
again,
of
we
what.
can't go home.
I guess it wasn't an inspiring speech after all.
This may be a 15-minute combat. So
A
roll
record
me,
for
I need
Starfinder combat.
3 D100s, Zyson.
What?
Certainly.
Never hit again, and it'll be a 4-hour combat.
Sorry, 1 second.
So 76 hits the engines, so their engines are now on the fritz. 70
They're actually
will
malfunctioning.
again hit the engines. Okay, so their engines are now malfunctioning.
Good.
Go for a 70 again.
Come on.
A 27
Sensors.
will
That
hit the
computer core.
sensors, so their sensors are glitching.
Hell yeah. Nice work, Zyson. I take back everything I said about you being a fat, drunken bastard.
All right, we are back to the engineering phase.
I'm going to switch to the gunner role. I want in on this action.
Okay.
Wait, should we have somebody else pilot?
Well, we could have 2 gunners, and I can take the minor glide. Because I just want to... I think I can get him. No pilot. All
Okay.
gunners.
Is anyone else moving?
No, I'm gonna stay where I am.
Is it better to have just somebody in piloting than nobody?
Basically, what we'll be limited to is half speed, and our turn distance will increase by 2.
Yeah, and you will. I think you automatically go second.
Yeah,
Can I
there's
just
no...
jump in the piloting?
Yeah,
Sorry,
might
you
well.
automatically go first.
I go.
You automatically go bad.
Yeah.
Well, you jump in piloting, Captain.
I mean,
Oh,
we blew a hole in one side of their ship. I think we should try to stay on that one side so we can keep blowing the hole in the same side.
Yeah.
I actually think we're better off with Murphy still flying the ship.
No, I can blow him up.
What?
I'm not in charge, so I can tell him.
I'm
what to
moving
do.
the piloting.
okay.
Somebody needs to pilot.
Yeah.
Change places!
Somebody needs to steer the ship.
God damn it, Lucky.
Yeah, I immediately run to the coil gun. Like, I got it!
So Murphy runs to the guns because he wants to blow up some Aslanti, and
Mhm.
Ozzy takes his place. All right. So, do we have an engineering action?
No.
Do we?
Well, unless Sedona wants to do a magic officer.
I will. Well, I don't need to do Eldritch Shot. I'm just gonna attempt to do Precognition again.
Okay.
Well, see if I can roll better than I did last time. Ah! See if it goes through because my roll 20 just crapped out. Well, okay. What is going on? There we go.
There we go.
Ozzy runs up to the seat and he pulls open the glove compartment and he pulls out the operation manual.
Starts reading it real quick.
You
Well,
spend enough time with the ship.
Sedona has the hardest time with this. So I can get it.
Wait. I can.
Ah,
Trying
okay.
to connect.
Okay.
I could roll it for you if you
Yeah,
want me to.
yeah,
What is our...
yeah, my roll 20 just is like crashed, so. Ah!
Okay. Let me,
What is our starship's tier? Is it 6?
7. Oh God. Maybe it's your character sheet. Because now mine is frozen.
Yeah, mine just kept restarting. Yeah, my character sheet completely shut
Okay, there we go.
off. Yeah.
Journal.
Oh man. Yeah, no. Sarah's video's gone.
Back now.
Sarah is gone.
She disappeared.
Okay.
Character sheet.
Mysticism check.
Oh.
20 is a failure? Failure.
Because that didn't.
Is it 5 plus 1.5 or?
It is 10 plus.
Oh.
So no, that is exactly a success because it's 1.5 your tier is 10. So that's a success.
You did it.
The pilot gets a +2 circumstance bonus on his piloting check at the beginning of the helm phase to determine pilot order.
You precog for Ozzy.
Cool.
Good job, Sedona.
Yay! I did something even though my computer's crashing.
Okay, their
Yes,
engineer is gonna hold it together, or sorry, patch. Yeah, they don't have 6 ranks. Okay, so let's try a patch action. Engineer. We're gonna use the computer on this. Nat 20 for a 30, which temporarily causes the. Oh, I put that on. Yeah, causes the engines to act as if they are merely glitching, which is good for
Only
me.
a -2 penalty.
Yep.
I understand that.
Alrighty, we now move to the piloting phase.
All right.
I would like to target systems.
Okay, and
I'm
they're
gonna
gonna
use the engine.
and they're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna target your weapons.
Should I help you, Ozzy, or should I help?
Ugh,
And that is a 6.
Oh. that wasn't me. Like I only rolled a 15.
I'm already getting a circumstance bonus from
Sedona.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough.
Let me check the bonus type. It is a circumstance bonus. So 26 will successful target their engines, just in case you crit. Although I think if you crit, they're gone. But still, might as well.
No, if wait, did I
It's
read that
only
right?
so it only does it if you crit. It's not just if you. It's not if you hit a threshold. It's if you hit a threshold by rolling a 20.
Oh. Well, in that
Yeah.
case, I'm going to do the other thing. I'm going to spend a resolve point and lock on. If you let me change my mind.
Yes.
Okay, it's the same roll, so I still succeeded.
Yeah, that works.
Well, if I can roll again if you want. me
Yeah,
to.
no, that's fine. You can keep it. It's fine.
I just
All right.
I need
And
to
they
fix
are
the plot
going
issue
to
'cause I
do the same
well,
thing. I didn't roll it already, did I? No, I did.
I see a
Okay.
15.
Yeah, which is a. Let me find the DC. Oh, they really should have balanced shields. Oh well.
Whoops.
Whoopsie doodles.
They are overconfident in their pilots.
Fucking Aslanti.
And their pilot's mediocrity.
Oh, it's because it's on the next page. 5 plus 1.5 your tier, which is a 15. That's a success. They have targeted your weapons. Alrighty.
you got to hit us for it to count, though.
Let's do some piloting checks.
All right.
At this point, the comm is apparently still on because you hear the Sardot say, "Pilot, you are better than this. You are better than they are. You are a member of the Empire." And so he gets his one
You're full of
free
shit.
automatic success on an intimidate check
Super
to
intimidating.
give a 26 and still fail.
Ha! Good job, Ozzy.
All right. They're going to.
Well, that pilot's dead after this encounter if they survive.
Yep.
Well, I think you have to evade, so I'm just going to roll for the evasion. See how that goes.
That one. Ha! Yes!
That one. Okay. So, Murphy, you are not allowed to take control of Roll20 anymore. That's not allowed. You can't just tell it what to do
Yes.
and get what you want.
Powers working. Finally.
What happens
That only
when
works
they
for anybody else
fail?
that's not you.
It's finally, after all the bad luck we've had, it's all
At long
this
last.
one
think-
campaign was one final battle.
We're not out of this yet.
So
Don't-
I have some things to say about your bad luck. You have had it at particularly opportune moments that don't matter. Or that actually, not that don't matter, that only matter narratively. We'll come back to that. Okay, that's in... Moving,
I mean, nobody has died.
back off, evade.
If you fail by 5 or more, moves as normal, but also takes -2 to AC and TL.
Yeah, okay, so they move as normal. So we are going to move, rotate. Oop, not that way. 1. Oh. They can't move that way. So okay, that's where they start. 1. Rotate. Down, apparently. 2, 3, 4, 5. Rotate. 6. My map. 7. Rotate. Actually, we'll do 8. Rotate. 9. And rotate. Okay. And it is now your turn.
Ozzy, make our front or our butt face them. I don't care what, but just make it happen.
Alright, I'm
Do a
gonna...
flyby.
That's it.
I mean, a drive-by.
I thought you weren't the captain anymore, Murphy.
I'm not. I'm telling Ozzy what to do. You're also at the point. I'm not the captain, so I should.
I mean,
be.
I meant pilot. That's not...
Ozzy, do you accept
Ah, so
this
there's glitching.
this backseat driving from Murphy? Backseat piloting.
I think I want to do a flyby.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Alrighty, make
I'm using the computer. So 21, which I think makes it.
I believe it's a. Let me check, but I think it's a 20. Is your DC?
Or is flyby 15 plus 1.5 CR?
Yeah.
It is 15 plus 1.5 CR, so it's actually DC 25. So you fail. So they get a free shot on you.
Oh yeah, it is 25. Dang.
So they're gonna take their free shot with their plasma cannon.
Okay.
A 12.
That will not hit.
Alright, now I need to move myself. Can I rotate now or only after I move the first time?
You have to move, unless you have perfect maneuverability, you have to move, rotate, move, rotate.
Alright, it's 1 hex. We have 11 left. That's 6 hexes. We have 5 left.
We want to
2
get on their
hexes. We have 3 left.
other side, right?
Yeah, we want
3
to.
hexes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
we want to be there.
Whoa, so close.
Alright, so I will go ahead and I
Do
will
we take?
I will take my shot first. I don't know why I'm saying yes to the computer. Add 1 to this. From the aft, for all it matters. Another 12.
No.
Rolling a 4
unfortunate.
for the win. Would you like to shoot some laser guns?
Zyson, up to you.
I think Murphy goes first.
He is faster.
Make the big guns go second.
I'm gonna
So-
aid Zyson.
So according to the thing I did, it says your starship's gunners plural gain a +2 bonus to gunnery checks.
Oh.
So you both get it.
Yay.
For,
Also, you're welcome
for what?
for locking on for shooting.
Oh, does that stack with mine, or is it? Can I not do? Mine?
Yeah, it stacks.
Hmm?
Because it's either a circumstance bonus or an untyped bonus, depending on what rules you look at. And as long as it's a different source, the circumstance bonuses stack, right? That was my understanding.
I thought no, but go ahead and roll, and we'll find out whether it matters.
All right, I'm going to shoot the coil gun from our aft arc into their
1 second.
starboard arc.
Okay. Do I aid both people when I aid, or just a single person?
You pick a person.
Okay. So, Murphy, go ahead. Do
Since
that
I'm
cool
not the
gun.
gunner, I'm just doing my spaceship weapon attack, but I still get the +2 from Shardik, so to add 2 on top of this.
Circumstance bonuses stack, unless they arise from essentially the same source. So like 2 of the same spell would not stack. 28 will hit for 3 damage.
Well, no, the damage isn't right. I'll have to click on the coil gun.
Okay.
It's a very weak
Zero
roll.
plus 3 damage is how much it with no
Oh.
rolls in there.
I don't know why.
Oh yeah, I
clicked
mean,
on the
you
coil gun.
can. It doesn't matter. This is the last session. You can tell the spreadsheet. You can just put in Murphy, comma Zyson, I think, and if you click the gunner, it should ask you who's the gunner, and use your stats. This sheet is actually fairly
Oh.
smart. Anyway, go ahead and roll your damage. It's not worth doing. This is the last session.
11.
11 damage. Okay, so you hit their. I think you have no choice. You hit their aft.
I hit their
Um,
starboard.
Starboard. If this is
If
forward,
they're facing this way.
then this is their aft, and then that would make this side their starboard.
Yeah, but they are not within. So your aft.
Our
Oh,
butt.
sorry, no, they're starboard. Never mind. You're totally right. You do 11 damage to them, which triggers another
Yeah. Critical threshold.
critical threshold. Roll me a D100, please.
1.
And that one
Life
is
support. Take that.
life support,
Suck on this.
which makes the Sardot kind of bad at his job.
What? 'Cause
Zyson.
it can't breathe? I guess that
Okay,
makes it
are we
bad
too
at
close to keep using the heavy weapons?
No,
Yes!
there is no close.
No?
We're
There is-
miles
there-
away.
This is like you're 75 miles away. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Okay, I can still.
Abstract.
Nuke
Abstracted.
will.
Nuke,
Thank
There are
nuke,
no
nuke.
consequences to nuking.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Use the computer.
We-
Use all the bonuses.
Make this shot count. I know you can do this
Please.
because I've seen you do it before.
Oh,
Never doubt yourself, Tyson.
are you
I'll
giving?
keep you
So
around
I
for a reason.
believe that is a success on encourage. It is. It is flat DC 15.
Okay, so add +4 to this. Okay.
It's just a +1 if you're doing it. +4. Okay.
Hell yeah,
So a
Zyson.
27 will hit.
52 damage.
52 damage. And you. So you shoot your nuke. And you hit the Star Runner. It impacts on the ship. Your nukes are not like, they're not like kind of what we would expect. Like, if you've ever seen Battlestar Galactica where, like, the ships trade nukes and it doesn't, like, blow up the whole ship, that's what it's normally like. So you do that, it impacts on the Star Runner. And then the Star Runner veers to port, sort of away from you, keeps veering to port, and then explodes entirely.
I think there's something wrong with their life support. That's what my scan says.
Ozzy, power up those engines. We're gonna get out of here.
Wait,
Murphy
no.
runs
we
around.
do the opposite. I go to the engine room and I power it down so that we can start spinning up the drift engine.
Right. Yeah, that engine.
It's just an
Good.
expression, you
Power
stupid
the
rat.
drift.
We did it! Woo!
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 We defeated the Empire.
We did it! Woo!
Well, part of the Empire, I guess.
Woo! Murphy's just going nuts. Woo! Woo! Woo!
Oh my gosh.
So a couple of minutes later, Mergulber
My love!
and,
Wait, and Murphy jumped out of the ship. Wait a minute.
and says, "Is it over?"
I pick her up in my arms. It's over, Merkle Burger. It's finally over.
She sort of flaps her flippers and says, "You can put me down now."
I don't want to. I'm never gonna put you down, Merkle Burger. I love you so much.
We do have to decide what to do with the
Put
other
her down.
group first.
We would like to go to Outpost Z, please.
Oh, you're not gonna come back to Absalom?
Most of us have families, Mr. Murphy.
Oh shit. You're right.
I don't know much about this outpost, but
Oh, you're right.
We know it's here, and we could probably catch some transports, get everyone back home.
That's the same thing to do, right? All right. Let's a good jump at the pilot seat. Let's take you back, Merkelberger. Let's take you back.
And I don't want to dally long. I'd rather not get there and see like an entire, Aslanti fleet waiting.
Right. It'll have to be a brief goodbye, Merkelberger. Right. So Ozzy, you got the coordinates. Jump over there.
I'll pilot them in.
Thanks.
I guess I want to find out because we took the humans, right? Or no, did we leave the humans?
We left them.
Yeah, you left the Aslanti. You have all of the aliens,
Okay, so we're all just gonna drop them off at
all of the
Station Z.
non-humans.
Yeah, the non-humans, because we are also aliens.
Everybody's aliens.
Humans
Aliens
are
all the way down.
Everybody is aliens.
It's all relative anyway.
So if you are
if we were on Terran or Galarian,
Lost
wait, but there is no
Galarian.
Galarian anymore.
Lost Galarian,
We don't know where it is.
Question mark.
Yeah.
It's where it is.
there are a lot of humans on
Absalon Station.
Plum Station though, and also everywhere else in the back worlds.
Right.
Fucking humans.
Humans, they're everywhere.
They're like a virus.
True.
Okay, Agent Smith.
So if you are going to head to Outpost Z, I need someone to. So you need to decide whether you're going by drift or by conventional thrusters.
I've already started powering up the drift.
True.
Okay, then Murphy, I assume you're piloting. Give me a
I
d6. Find out how many days it takes.
6. I want as many days with her as I can. Yes. Yes.
It is exactly 6 days. So it
I
takes
have
you...
command over roll 20. I am God.
That ends today, hopefully.
Use your powers for good, Graham, not for evil.
So it takes you 6 days. Is there anything that anybody wants to do in particular on your 6-day travel to Outpost Z?
I try romancing Myrtle Bird to convince her to stay.
Oh my gosh. Just saying, like, no means no.
Boys in the tentacles.
Make a diplomacy check.
Yes, I'm +8. Come on, you can do this, Murphy. Okay, roll 20. Listen to me. Natural 20. Close. 19. I'll take it. Roll 20.
A 27 is pretty good.
Oh
So
God.
Miracle Burr.
she agrees to like some romanticness. She confesses to you that she doesn't have a lot of family she needs to go to, but she feels responsible for these folks. So
There's also
She-
the whole fact that she was engaged before she was abducted by these Aslanti, and she kind of needs to get back to that.
well, there's also there's not that. She's actually single and like has no like family left apparently.
There.
Like it's not like tragic, but she was an only child. She is like late middle age. And her parents have passed away after a long happy, like she's not crying about it, but she doesn't like have anyone to go back to. You do convince her to probably come to the Pact Worlds eventually.
Okay. Okay.
So she feels responsible for these people. She doesn't really know much about. Like she's heard about Absalom Station. You sort of regale her with
I tell her all kinds of stories.
Your stories of valor, and then just a bunch of the stuff that you know about the Pact Worlds. She like kind of already figured it was probably a pretty good place because you're from there, and she's a smart person. She knows some stuff. So she had been expecting to have to leave after this anyway, so she thinks she'll probably come to the Pact Worlds later, and she'll probably look you up.
All right, I'll wait for you, Miracle Burr. I'll save myself for you.
She says, "Well, no promises in that respect, but at the very least, we can be friends. Maybe watch movies together." You do have
Sure.
movies in the Pact Worlds, right?
Yeah, we got some really good ones. The goblins make some really, funny shit. It's like Jackass, but it's all goblins. They prank each other. It's hilarious. Yeah, we could watch it in my place, I suppose. Well,
Okay.
Well, just thanks, Merkelberger. You're just a shining beacon of optimism in this dark galaxy, and you do what you got to do, and I'll be waiting for you.
And I can't thank you enough for saving me. You and all of your crew.
You're welcome. After 6 days. Yeah.
Is there anything anyone else would like to do other than apparently a Devastator cache? Brian, is there anything you need to tell us about what you're planning?
I'm secretly an Aslanti.
Oh no! He's been like this whole time. It's just a bear suit.
Overheat when everybody is in the room.
What happened to the rune drive? Did it disappear when the ship transformed?
Yeah, no. So the rune drive is still there. And my roll 20 is screwing up again, so I'm just going to refresh while I'm talking. The rune drive is still there. It doesn't have this connection to the Aeon throne anymore, and it doesn't actually look like it's good for a lot. But a lot of the structure is still there, like the physical structure, the way that it was built. It looks like it is possible to determine, things from it. It didn't blow up. It didn't disappear. So it's not currently functional, and it doesn't, it is damaged in such a way that you don't, particularly without a power source as powerful as the Aeon throne, you're not sure that you could get it working again, but you can certainly learn from it.
Yeah, I would like to spend some time learning from it.
Okay.
I would like to help out with that.
Okay.
Yeah, nerds.
And
nerds up.
Losers.
That's an engineering or a mysticism thing. So, basically anybody but Murphy and possibly Zyson can work on that if they would like.
I'm busy.
I want to recruit Sedona to help us.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And you don't even really need to roll for this, because
Okay.
it would take. You do know it would take a very long time to sort of disassemble and to understand it enough to be able to build a new one, if you even could do that. But you're able to make some progress.
Mhm.
Anybody who would like to do that.
Okay.
Well, we also have all the notes from all the scientists to help us.
You also have that. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
wanna
not-
know that stuff is too complicated.
I don't want to fix it as much. I want to figure out how it works.
Yeah, that's the thing.
not fixing
I want
up
to- I want
this,
to
but finding
understand
new
it.
applications for this technology. That's what really interests Ozzy.
Fucking nerds.
Maybe we could use it to find Galarian. That could be our next adventure.
That's crazy, Doc.
And then we can go back in time and something about a extinction curse.
Join a circus.
Yeah, I want to go back in time and join a circus.
A bear in a circus? That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal now.
You're just sputting utter nonsense, Shardik. Bearman, just like lay off the drugs, man. That's just crazy talk.
According to my people's legends, there was a time when bears were forced to be in the circus.
That sounds exploitative.
It
sounds
is.
horrible.
So I want to go back in time and destroy the circus.
All right.
Because circuses are evil.
Sure.
Anything else anybody would like to do on the way?
Maybe keep an eye on the crew, on the new visitors. Make sure there's nobody, getting any
No agents.
No
getting any
hanky-panky?
Aslanti sympathy bounty
Oh jeez.
kind of ideas
Yeah,
in
I
their
mean,
heads.
the answer, you don't really get any indication from that or of that. These folks seem like, one, they're not Aslanti, they're non-humans. They're all like really, really grateful to you. I wouldn't call them deferential. Like, these are really smart. These are scientists. They're smart folks. They don't like get out and do a lot of adventure, any of them. So they, like maybe they haven't seen a starship. Certainly haven't seen a starship with this kind of like firepower before. But they're all really nice to you. And you don't really get any indication that any of them are plants or anything. So
Okay with being dropped off at a station. I mean,
yeah, I mean
hopefully they
it's,
won't get into the same situation that we found them in again.
Yeah, I mean they mostly want to go home, and like leaving the Aslanti Star Empire is farther away from home, and so they mostly don't want to do that.
Do we have a lot of money as characters compared to quote unquote normal people?
It depends on how much money you individually have.
Like, is 100 credits a lot or not really?
I mean, it's a decent amount of money. Like, it's we could look up some like what can you buy with 100 credits, but it's a decent amount of money. They like they don't have no credits, or sorry, they don't have credits. But mostly they feel fairly confident in being able to get them with either, they're willing to be a bartender for a month to get passage back home.
I'll give. How many are there?
There are I'm trying to remember what I said last time because the book contradicts itself. I believe there are 4. Let me look. Actually, how many did I have in Orlos? Yeah, there are 4.
I'll give them each 50 credits just to get started.
Wow.
Okay. They will happily accept that.
So
Wow.
And
You
that's
have way more money than I do.
That's a pretty good start toward. Actually, that might even get them
$50.
get them
Cab fare.
passage. They just have to wait for the right ships.
I looked it up. Starship passage for common quality. That's 50 credits per day of travel.
Okay, so it's a
shit,
good
Dad.
down payment.
So how do you calculate that if all starship travel is based on the drift drive?
Pretty profitable for people ferrying people, huh? It's like, oh yeah, this will be between 10. This,
They probably average it. They just take the
mean, like,
average rates on the location.
This would have been what a 300 credit
Get
trip
rolled
just to
back.
go to the
Yeah.
to the station from where we are.
Yeah.
Wow. Start ranking up a tab.
It would also be 300 credits to go to Absalom Station.
If you roll the max. Alternatively, it could be 50. So.
Whoa.
Yeah, that gets them a good start. Is there anything you want to do on Outpost Z?
I just want to get out, get people out as quickly as possible.
I
Our friends
go.
had all left Outpost said, right? Like the others had, they sort of departed.
I have to go see my friend Zarb.
Yeah, so
Zarby boy.
And Hasha
one
Shear's
left.
there, right?
Make it
Just
quick.
Whatever.
yeah,
but-
so Hasashir's there.
What does he think of our shiny new ship?
He is impressed. He thinks it's really cool. And he actually takes an
friend.
interest in
Oh,
helping the scientists, because like you helped him, you helped them, like he was recently in relatively dire straits himself, so he offers to help Mergerbler in securing passage for them, and he's kind of a local, he knows the place.
Good.
And knows the ships coming in and out, so he offers his help.
I'd probably take Hasashir aside at one point and be like, just maybe drop subtle hints every once in a while of just getting out and leaving Station Z and eventually heading to Absalom. Just maybe just like subtle hints, just kind of sprinkle them around a little bit. If you could do that for us, Hasashir.
I can't say I've ever thought of doing that, but it's not a bad idea.
Give it a shot. Yeah, moving some stuff over to Absalom. We can take all types, man. It's so cosmopolitan, so accepting of everybody. It's great. And I will definitely go hang out with the Zarb for as long as the captain will let me.
The Zarb is happy to see you.
Ah!
They yell at each other for a while.
Go yell at each other for an hour. Yeah.
Maybe until you're hoarse.
Good. All right, Zarb, it's been real. Peace.
I guess. Well,
For Sarah's
I can't
benefit,
remember her name.
this is the Zarb.
I showed her. I pulled it up.
Oh, great.
What?
It's so
What is
good.
the
You and
ferret
Murphy get along.
name?
Tomrin.
Tomrin, she left.
Tomrin.
She is the one who
Oh,
left.
she left.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. I don't really care about anybody else here.
Everybody else is less than NPC.
Mhm.
Background
So-
characters at best.
If there is nothing else you would like to do,
So time
where
to
would
go
you like to
home.
Go back towards. Wait, where did we come from? Did we come from Absalom Station?
Yeah, we came
came from
Absalom.
Absalom Station.
Let's go back.
Alrighty.
Take a breather.
That is simply
Alright.
1d6 from the pilot.
All right. Everybody strapped in.
Yep.
Let's go home.
Wait, are we supposed
Uh-oh.
to strap in for this? I
Yes.
haven't before.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it's standard procedure, but
yeah,
you
read
know,
the manual.
Well, at least
Terrible
you have
habits.
it done again.
Jeez. All right, let's
Yeah,
go.
having just read this section of the manual, Ozzy.
2 days.
2 days. After, what? It's probably been 3 months you've been
Jeez.
out here.
Yeah.
It takes you 2 days.
To get out. This was
To
always
go
an
home.
option, huh? Let's get back out here is the problem.
It's the magic of the Starstone. You come out of the drift outside of Absalom Station, sort of near the Armada. And it is mere minutes before you receive a hail
Oh.
from
Well, answer
the
it.
stewards.
Oh, wait,
Actually, Donna,
you
did
went
you tell them we were coming home?
It's the cops.
Yeah, Sedona, did you tell them
Hey,
you were
Pops.
coming home?
Sure.
Why do you
I
say
was-
it like that, Sedona? A little concerned.
Because Sarah's is trying to remember Sedona's backstory.
So Sedona is, and I will give you a little bit more detail here.
I'm like,
You are a former counter espionage agent for the like CIA version. So like technically you're a cop because that like the stewards also include like FBI type cops. But your specialty was in counter espionage. It took you all over the Pact Worlds and elsewhere, just sort of, finding like threats and that kind of thing. You were an information person, although it did include some amount of, personal like combat and action.
Yeah.
It's why Sedona the NPC was level 5. She's done some stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like she would follow standard procedure.
Yeah, I would.
Procedure was to alert.
And when the Aslanti arrived on the colony you had retired on, like you are the person who ran to the communications array and sent a message to the stewards to tell them, oh shit, we're getting invaded, basically, shortly before the communication array was disabled by the Aslanti. And I will also remind everyone that after or just before you left, you received a communication. Before you left Nacondas, you received a communication from the stewards asking you to basically fix the rune drive problem.
Yep.
All right, yeah, so I would contact them
From
and let them know.
what's your face? DePadra Vosco.
Yeah, so you receive a message. It is a live message this time, and it is in fact Major DePadra Ivosco. Sedona, you know her. She wasn't like your supervisor, or like she was kind of a different. Actually, they tell me about her. I believe she is a different,
Division.
a different like section. She's in here real quick.
Is she section 1?
She's like your
She's
departmental
section
like
9.
aunt instead of your parent.
Oh, it's like you have to listen to her, but she's not technically your boss.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, like she's higher ranks. She would have been, so you were part of ops. And I think she's in Overwatch. I don't remember. I think it might even be in a different book.
Wait,
But yeah, so she was never your direct supervisor, but you're acquainted. I mean, she's high up. She's the head of her section. And she greets you. She says, I honestly didn't think any of you would be back.
We did
but
it.
You were successful?
Sure shooting.
Yes.
we were.
Did you destroy or did you retrieve the technology?
Hey, column A, column
it's-
B.
Technically
A
both.
bit of a gray area between those,
Yeah.
I'm going to
We
patch.
disabled it.
I'm gonna patch in my comms unit custom rig and show off footage of the rune drive and
We
its
have
current
its
crystal symbol.
carcass.
Okay. She is actually one of the heads of the constabulary, so she's a cop. She's one of the head cops. Yay. Yeah, so what were you sending over? You were sending over information about the rune drive.
A video feed,
Yeah, just to
like
show
a
what it is, what it's like.
Okay.
At
a
least
Snapchat of it.
She says,
Back TikTok. We're all dancing in front of it.
Murphy starts flossing.
it's just a music video of
Stop this
what we heard at the
TikTok
beginning of the
stuff.
section.
Oh, hey, I do that.
So, she says, very good, very good. I assume you will understand that we will need to take possession of the technology.
Yeah.
Aw.
I mean,
Couldn't we-
So she arranges with you to have your ship dock at what's it called? At bastion on Absalom Station. It is it's where the stewards are located. It's HQ. So you dock, and some, stewards with literally a big black box come in. They take the rune drive from you, and she invites you to a meeting in her rather opulent office. She tells you that you have the steward's everlasting thanks. That you have more than earned your reward. She gives you 5,000 credits each for a job well done. She tells you that the Pact World scientists will be studying the rune drive under steward supervision, and that any of you, because of your amount of exposure to it, are welcome to provide any assistance that you wish with the research, although they anticipate that it will take a very long time before they would be able to crack the science underpinning the device's operation and recreate its technology, or recreate its reality warping ability.
What does the job pay? And how many?
It pays pretty well if you would like to join full time their science division, or one of the contractors that they've hired. The contractors pay better, but have not as great job security and benefits. It's kind of up to you. If you were,
how's the dental plan?
The dental plan is quite good. And you will have all the
vacation do I get?
All the fancy bear treats while you're
how much salmon
in the office. Lots of salmon.
All right, I'm in.
They have a salmon farm. They have their own dedicated salmon farm because there are a lot of uplifted bears that work for them. So
finally, my people.
They also extend to you the opportunity to essentially take advantage of other more ephemeral thanks. So if you need a letter of recommendation to do something, where the Pact Worlds, the government of the Pact Worlds would be helpful, you can kind of get that. If you want to join the stewards, any of the branches, you have essentially proven yourselves and enough that you can do that. At least those of you who are citizens. And Sedona, they sort of presume you want to go back to your retirement. But you are always welcome back. And she sort of mentions that, if you come back, you've earned a promotion to, we'll say, captain.
So, did the thing with Ulivestra that I forgot and memories came, did that happen before my retirement or after my retirement?
After. So you retired to this colony, and basically you picked the wrong colony.
Yeah, you picked a bad place,
because
a bad location.
You picked the planet that the rune drive crashed on millennia before.
Okay.
And then an Aslantes scout drone crashed on Nikondis, which is the colony you were. It's this really small colony. Your idea was you would just help build this community for a decade maybe until it was time for you to regenerate. Androids don't die. Unless they get blown up or something, they don't die of natural causes per se. They choose to regenerate, and another person similar to them but always different, a new soul comes to inhabit their body. So
that sounds sort of familiar.
So you were retiring in preparation for eventually just that's your version of procreation basically. But plans change, so you would be welcome back. Anyone who is a Pact World citizen is welcome to join if you would like. Murphy, Shardik, and Yulia, you are. I don't know if you're Pact World citizens or not. If you're not, you are extended citizenship if you would like it.
Yeah, probably official
or-
citizenship now.
You know, like if you want, like you can almost get any job you want. Alternatively, you as a crew, like you have a pretty nice starship. You have a much
Yeah.
nicer starship than you started with several months ago.
Mm-hmm.
They are also willing to hire you for sensitive purposes. Like they always need plausible deniability, and you are plausible deniability. You are, you know, half like not packed world species. They can give you lots of money to deliver stuff, pick up stranded agents, deliver, you know, they have a diplomat that needs to go to a sensitive negotiation and it needs to get there tomorrow. They'll hire you. They're happy to give you not everything you've ever wanted, but you can get a real leg up in life. You know, you've come from hoping you would catch a break to you've got the government willing to do you a couple of favors. So
Wow.
I do want to talk about what you each individually or collectively want. But first, I have a couple of other things.
Oh.
Actually, one other thing. So about 6 months later, whatever it is that you're doing, you receive, and actually, no, let's talk about what you want immediately first, because
All right.
this happens about 6 months later.
Well, Murphy was really banking on Mergelber coming back with him,
Oh,
and
Solo
he was
vacation
trying to settle down. He was thinking about, you know, taking it easy for a while because he'd been doing so much crazy shit over the past 3 months and nearly getting himself and others killed on multiple occasions. But seeing how much money is in it, I guess Murphy would probably go to the stewards and ask and request if there was anything that they had or any kind of movement or missions they were doing against the Viscarium, because Murphy wants to get involved in doing anything he can now. His next target after fucking with the Aslanti is to fuck with the Viscarium, and if he finds something, he will kind of try to invite the rest of his crew to go along with him.
Yeah, so the answer to that is a stiff, we are allies with the Vescarium.
Fucking shite. Yeah. We're allies for now.
That said,
Hmm?
it is always important to keep one's guard up.
True.
And she sort of all of your dealings are through Ivosco. She says
Friendly countries have spies with each other.
nothing
Murphy becomes a spy.
Surely you know that nothing we say leaves this room,
Of course.
but we always have counter-espionage operations that are necessary. Much of our intelligence is devoted toward the movements of the swarm and things of that nature. The threat of the swarm keeps the Vescarium, keeps us on the Vescarium's good side. But we'll never forget the Vesk War.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer is no to you. The answer may be different to
I gotcha.
stewards of rank.
I know
If you
security
catch-
clearance.
If you catch my meaning.
Oh, well. I guess then, where do I sign? Murphy tries to become a
Signing
spy
up for
for
the
the
army.
stewards.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can sign up to be a steward. Mr. Chaotic Neutral, being a cop, interesting.
I mean,
Loose
He's
cannon
a
cop
but-
that doesn't
but
play
you,
by the
like-
rules.
you have a mission though, right? Like you
Mhm.
yeah.
No, Murphy fucking
Yeah.
hates the Viscarium.
You are able to find people who are like-minded or maybe not with quite your zeal, but they certainly have use for your skills
Sure.
in ways that so your first assignment, so you get an assignment. It has nothing to do with the Vesk. There's no mention of the Vesk. But you're clearly a newbie. You're commissioned as an officer. It's good. But you're still starting fairly low.
Mm-hmm. Well, take what I can get and work my way up, and eventually take down another empire.
there goes that settling down thing.
Yeah. If I can't have Murglebur. Like, he carries a pick, like a hollow pick of Murglebur in his wallet at all times. Like, occasionally out on a mission, like, oh, I miss you, Blue.
Would she feel
She is a person that you knew for all of a week, but I don't know. Some people are
Hey,
like that, so it's not
You
even
know,
that.
I just fell. I fell hard, man.
Yeah.
Lord.
when's the
Murphy's
wedding
very
in Las
upset, though.
Vegas?
Yeah.
I want to know what Ozzy is wanting to do.
Oh, that depends on what you're doing, Captain.
What? I know you're interested in the rune drive, but what about the red
Yeah,
ash?
I'm done with that.
Moved on.
Yeah, you know me. Tumble and tumbleweed.
Zyson. Garrett, are you muted? Maybe.
Syson got so drunk that
He
Garrett
precisely
left.
maybe currently drunk or in the bathroom.
Shardik. So
Uh,
Shardik wanted to join, right? The government to
Yeah,
work on the rune drive.
I want to sign up to join the research scientists
Okay.
as a
Yeah, I mean,
employee, not a contractor.
yeah, and so you do that, and maybe in contrast to Murphy, you start actually fairly high up. You start as a manager, because it turns out
Uh-oh.
you know more than all of these other people combined, particularly.
Shardik has very bad managerial skills.
Yeah, in the application. I mean,
Shardik is not a good manager.
if you don't want to be a manager, they will take the hint, and they will just make you like a senior scientist or something.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah. So yeah, you do that. How long do you want to work? Like, is this like you work on this thing until it's done? Is that your goal?
My goal is to work on this until it's done. I would like to keep in contact with the rest of the crew, and if I find out they're going on some crazy adventure, I'm going to cash in my vacation time and join them.
Okay.
But it's kind of sounds like they're splitting up, so that may not happen.
Okay. But you can definitely keep in touch with each other. Murphy's maybe a little more difficult to keep in touch with because you find that he kind of drops off the radar every now and then.
Just moving around so much.
Murphy's a bit
Yeah.
flaky in general.
What, Murphy? Flaky?
He's always leaving my texts on red.
Never would know.
I got important work to do, man.
Okay. I think Zyson is going to ask for the captain's permission. You know, Yulia, you might have remember when I first met up with you, I was on my tempering, my, what was it, 7th year of tempering.
Seventh
might
of
remember-
3, yes.
Pardon?
Seventh of 3, yes.
7th of 3. You might remember that I was kind of on a forced tempering due to some incidents back home. You know, the stewards potentially could write me the kind of recommendation that could end that highly encouraged tempering back home. I might be able to get back on the Indari with their vouch.
Is that what you want?
Yeah, so do you want to join the Order of the Solarians?
is kind of what I'd like to do. I mean, I almost died. This was quite the tempering, and it would be very I've always wanted to be able to one day go back home with my head high, and sort of shove it in my old teachers' faces. This is kind of an opportunity that I might not get again. I mean, it doesn't mean I'll never see you again, Captain, but I feel like for my own family's name, should return back to the Indari for a while. This could be the perfect opportunity to sort of get my name cleared back home.
I mean, I believe that you should do what you want to do. I mean, I hold most strongly to freedom above all else. And I've always used that when... I mean, I was never really governing y'all. I was kind of letting you do your own thing because I felt that, like, together, when we cooperate, we can come up with greater things. And personal freedom. And, I would feel better if I knew that you weren't in constant grave danger. So that would also be a plus for me. Because I don't know how much more stress I can deal with when there's a cat running into danger, full speed, followed closely by you. Oh gosh.
I gotta break balls, Captain.
There were many days where I didn't know if I could keep doing it, but you do what you need to do.
Well, it might not be forever, but who knows? Who knows how the stars will align in the future?
Huh.
But yeah,
Well,
I think if Zython has the captain's blessing, he's gonna try and get the stewards to help him out with his indiscretions back on the Indari mothership, and see if he can actually join the Solarian Order proper.
Yeah, so it turns out the recommendation of a High Steward bears a significant amount of weight with these sort of traditionalist Kasatha, ancient Kasatha, Solarians. They're mostly Solarians. So you find yourself somehow actually inducted into the order as a full member. At first you get the feeling that, they have scrutinized the couple of messages. They actually responded to the recommendation with a, is this real? Are you actually Major Ivosco? Do you know who this guy is? But after a couple of assurances that this is actually real, no, actually you should take this seriously, this guy, this man has, no details given, but this man has done a lot for the stewards and for the Pact Worlds, and we find him suitable for anything we could think of, essentially. You do find yourself as a full Solarian, as a member of the Order itself. And as a side note, Ivosco does impress on all of you that none of what you did can be public. You can discuss it with her. Shardik can discuss it, not the details of the operation itself, not how he came to know what he knows, but he can discuss what he knows with the other scientists. That's it. Each other, her, anybody else she says is okay. None of this can become public, because they really don't want a war with the Aslanti Star Empire. That would be bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we blew up the only people who know. Oh, except for those people we left in the other station.
Yeah.
And all the witnesses. Hopefully they won't talk.
Yeah, but most of you don't look like Pact Worlders anyways.
True.
Right. Ragtag.
And we weren't working for the Pact World at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We were independent contractors.
It's true.
Yeah.
Ozzy, what is your opinion of the Aslanti Star Empire?
Can't say I'm a fan, Stan.
Put it mildly.
Are you a fan of causing a little chaos every now and then?
I mean, sure, every now and then. I wouldn't want to make a livelihood out of it.
Well, because I was thinking, there's a lot of people that the Aslanti have invaded, and we saw what they did to the scientists. We saw what it seemed like they were going to do to the Condis, and I think I'd like to push back a little bit against some of that expansion, in my own small way. So whether you want to come or not, that is up to you. But I think I will do what I can, make what connections I can, and try to, I don't know, maybe start, if I just kind of start from maybe Station Z.
Are you talking about starting an insurrection cabin?
Well,
Because you're starting
maybe
to
not
sound like
personally start
Oh,
one,
oh,
but maybe connect up the people who can do it for themselves.
I would. Murphy wants to do this. Wait a minute! I became a cop. What have I done?
You chose.
Maybe you should have stuck around.
Really.
Oh no.
Who knows?
I mean,
you may
Do you
run
tell
into each other
Murphy?
again.
Do you tell Murphy?
tell them where I'm going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're okay. Hmm.
Do you want to be a cop or do you want to?
Murphy.
See,
Takes as many vacation
Yulia
days
wanted
as he-
Yulia wanted people to make their own decisions without her influence.
Hey, the stars could align. Through circumstance, we
and
could
do
all
what
end
they
up
would
back on
most
Earth together.
want to do.
Yeah, Murphy probably uses any vacation time he accrues through the stewards to go help start an insurrection in Aslantia space.
So
I'm not
Ozzy,
actually starting an insurrection. I'm just
Right.
trying to do what I
Ozzy,
can.
Ozzy, are you in on this?
I don't think Ozzy would. I think that Ozzy is ready for a new pursuit in life.
Oh.
Okay. So
I think-
Yulia.
Ozzy's going to get into starship racing.
Oh, excellent.
Whoa.
So I want to do Yulia first. So Yulia, the niche you find is actually really winds up being really familiar. It's mostly just weapon smuggling. So you actually spend most of your time outside of the Pact Worlds, kind of on the fringes of the Aslanti Empire. Finding, individual worlds that have been recently conquered or that feel that they are in the Empire's path, and giving them the resources they need to resist. That's kind of the niche that you connect them to each other. It's not literally just weapons. Sometimes you're giving, maybe a little bit of stolen technology here and there.
Oh, once you get out, here's somebody you can talk to, or
Yeah, sort of like
that.
helping to build a little bit of an anti-Aslanti network is kind of what you do. You absolutely cannot do this with the official or even really unofficial sanction of the Pact Worlds, because unlike the Vesk, the Aslanti Star Empire is so huge that the Pact Worlds they're really afraid of a war with them. They kind of think maybe they could take the Vest. They would prefer not to. The Aslanti, it's just terrifying. So you don't really find any support from the stewards. They also don't arrest you for doing it, but if you share any of your information, if you share any inclination for doing this with them, they would, you know, it can't be traced back, even really to the Pact Worlds.
Okay, that sounds fine with me. I guess then I would have my own probably personal ship that like one person could fly as opposed to needing a whole crew.
Yeah, so you can acquire probably a tier 2, maybe tier 3, 1 to 2 person ship that you are able to pilot yourself. And so Ozzy wants to get into racing.
Yeah.
With
Any-
his souped up Red Abbey.
What kinds of ships? Big ships, small ships?
Small ships, but I mean, if the Abbey is getting left to him, there's another really important thing that he needs to do. He flies back to Akaton, his home planet, and he rounds up all 13 of his brothers and sisters,
Aww.
and they live on the Red Abbey as they fly around
Yes.
to
Jeez.
Ozzy
It's
events.
crowded.
And they essentially become your crew. Very good. So Ozzy has made it. It actually maybe becomes a little famous because you're really good at you know, tweaking your engines just right for this particular race. You know, exactly the kinds of turns or you know, you need to do the drift jump just like this to get over there and then come back. Because some of these races are weeks long. Some of them are super short. Some of them are weeks long. Yeah, and so you have more money than possibly the rest of your siblings combined. Surely they are not jealous, but they are obviously very happy to be picked up and go see the stars.
Yeah, and I mean, the only reason why Ozzy even left the planet in the first place was, well, other than to say his wanderlust, was to make money to support his family.
Yep.
And now he can do it with his new racing ship, Nakonda 6.
Excellent.
Nice.
And how about Sedona?
So, she thought about it for a little while, and she thought retirement was a good idea, but then so many things went wrong with that. So, you know, it's like, you might as well just go till it's over, you know, so she's gonna go back.
Hey, so Sedona gets back into the game. It's interesting, you know, you're gone for 6 months, 7 months, and it feels like it's forever. You have like a different, you like kind of had an office, like technically you shared an office. Most of your work was not in an office. But hey, you have your own office now. If you would like to be a manager of people, you are certainly offered that.
Could she
You
be
know,
my boss?
Managing the operations.
Conflict of interest.
She's maybe a little too far up to be your boss. Yeah.
Sorry, Murphy. I'll see you on, like, well, I probably don't drink coffee, but breaks.
You can if you want.
Doesn't do
Androids
anything for
can
you.
drink if they would like. They just don't need to. Actually, no. I think I have that backwards. You don't have to breathe, but you do have to eat. It's one or the other. I think you don't have to breathe, but you do.
I'll go on, like,
'Cause you still need energy.
I'll take Murphy on, like, we'll work out or something.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, office mates. Run the
You
water
can-
cooler. Have the same lunch
Because
break.
since he won't stop bugging me, you know what, Murphy? Come on, let's hang out. Let's do a
Let's
workout.
hang. Let's chill. We went on a
Let's do
whole fucking
that.
adventure together. Come on.
And maybe if you want to, you can continue to put in a little favors here and there. Like, oh, I think this mission would be really good for operative. I don't know what Murphy's operative name is, but for
Comforted
that guy,
him.
because the thing is, you know him better than his supervisor, so you can like give him
It's
give
like,
him
don't.
several
It's
pointers.
like, oh, don't send him on that. That's not. No, you gotta go there. That's much better.
It's
Yeah,
more
he'll-
the opposite. Like, don't send him there for the love of God.
He'll charge in guns blazing. No subtlety, no.
Oh my god. You have a cop, a buddy cop episode.
I'm the loose cannon. Can't rein me in.
I'm picturing myself as like a Captain like Holt type of thing,
Yeah.
like very like, no emotion. Like, what
Yes.
do you mean? I'm totally happy right now.
And I'm Pimento. Just like, ah!
Sorry if no one's seen Brooklyn
So,
Nine-Nine,
yeah,
but we've been watching a lot of
go
that.
watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine right now. That's what
So-
I did.
About 6 months later, it sounds like Ozzy is the person who is in charge of the former Red Abbey. So you receive this message, and if you look in your information, it is a communication from the Empire. And if you could read that for us, Ozzy.
Oh boy.
There is so much stuff in here. Okay.
It
fine.
is very long. It is a full letter.
Made friends.
If you like, you can also send it to people, and they can read parts of it.
I do not know how to do that. I'll just read the whole thing.
I mean, you can say who you. So you're the only person receiving this communication. You can presumably distribute it to everybody else.
Okay.
So I will just give it to everybody. So Ozzy, if you'll read the first paragraph, and then who wants to read paragraph 2, and who wants to read paragraph 3,
I'll do second paragraph.
and then third.
I wonder why.
My friends, I write to you today with news and interesting updates on the happenings here around the edge of the ASE. There has been surprisingly little fallout from your activities here. The prison is still a prison. 2 ships arrived and departed from a certain asteroid some months ago, but none since. And Outpost Z has not received so much as a glance. I did hear one very interesting rumor, however. Your friend with the fancy laser sword has his military rank stripped and noble titles retroactively expunged. Posthumously. I did not know such a thing was possible. I take all this as a tacit admission by the Star Imperators that he was acting without their permission and outside of his authority. Good news for the Pact Worlds, I would think.
Mergelbur is wonderful. I must thank you for recommending that I assist her. It took some time to pull off covertly, but she has received confirmation that the other scientists have reached their home planet safely. Meanwhile, Mergelbur and I have made a mutually profitable business partnership. Her research on certain technologies has given me new insight into sublight engines and other ship components, and together we have designed several iterations on common ship components and designs.
Our business is booming, but the watchful eyes are everywhere, and we must be more careful than ever. We plan to save up a nice nest egg here on Outpost Z, then move on to somewhere more populated. She has her heart set on the Pack Worlds, it seems, where she hopes to request asylum. If we do, I hope you will put in a good word for us, and perhaps we can all collaborate on future designs or other ventures. Yours, most sincerely,
Hasashir,
Hasashir.
who you very briefly met, Sedona.
Hell yeah.
Very briefly when you were dropping people off.
Aw.
So you receive this message from Hasashir. And it is a good year and a half later. But Hasashir and Mergerbler, now with some number of credits to their name, do arrive on Absalom Station and take up business together. They remain business partners. Although, Murphy, I will say, they are not romantic partners. They are business partners.
Like once they get established and I hear about it, I want to go to the shop one day on my day off. It's been 2 years later. Open the door timidly. Mergelbur.
She plays it cool. She says, "Well, I think I've seen someone who looks like that before."
tears streaming down my orange fur, I run to Murglebur and give her a hug, and then kind of put her down like I'm too forward. I know. I've tried to. I know this has all been. Sorry, I'm still too excited. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're safe. That's all that really matters.
I'm very happy to be here. We should get coffee sometime.
Yeah, I would like that. I love that. Oh, and Haas is here. Hey, good to see you too. Glad you're here too.
He just sort of waves from the back. He seems to be working on something.
Hope your claws are fine. Not getting that rot anymore, right? You got rid of that, right? It's a disease. But yeah, coffee. We'll get that sometime. Well, I'll see you around, Murglebur. Take care,
She
Buckley,
said,
buddy.
I know a good place.
Good. Call me on my cell phone. Peace out. Walk through the door. And do like the Breakfast Club at the end, like jump up in midair. Hey,
Bell
hey,
kick.
hey, hey!
And that's it.
Yeah!
That is
I did
the
it.
end of Against the Aeon Throne.
Yes!
It has been a pleasure. This has been a lot of fun. I have some thoughts, mostly on your luck. So, do you want to talk on camera, off camera, or not at all about the things that you missed? Because that's kind of all up to you. I know some people don't want to know the stuff they missed, but
yeah, big spoilers tag after this.
Yeah, if you plan on playing this at home, tune out.
Goodbye now.
We'll see you
yeah,
next week.
if you plan on playing this at home, you probably shouldn't be watching this in the first place.
That's true.
Yeah,
This would have spoiled most things. Yeah, good point. What did we miss? What's the biggest thing
know.
that we missed?
Yeah. So, let me look through these. So, you got almost book 1, Reach of Empire. You got basically everything. You kind of went everywhere and did everything. I don't even think you missed any of the missions. It was interesting that Jellic died. That was your first real setback.
Yeah, it was.
Was not being able to save Jellic.
That was bad.
It's possible to do it. It's possible not.
You mean trying to cut him down and then dropping him on the ground?
Yeah, that
Not my best moment.
that worked. That went poorly.
Well, it galvanized us against the Aslanti. We were like, these guys are assholes. We're gonna kill every last one we find.
Yeah, it is possible to talk to the water elemental at the water collector, if you remember, the moisture collector.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk to it and convince it to leave or something. But other than that, I don't think there was a lot that you missed. You got most of the details that were there. And honestly, book 1, it wasn't quite a cakewalk, but you did really well in book 1. Book 2 was actually kind of similar. You did all the missions. I don't think there was anything you really missed. It was interesting. You really did kind of roll over a couple of the fights. Trying to find. So the place where Hasashir was being kept. So actually, Hasashir himself. So he was kidnapped after you came back. So when you came back to Outpost Z, and you met him and he showed you around, that was actually him. He got kidnapped by, I don't even remember the guy's name anymore. But the Reptoid.
Yeah.
He was targeting you the whole time, and I think you maybe figured that out from the video. Yeah. But she was the alien was, she figured out you were there, you were connected to the Aslanti, and she offered you sort of as a reward. There was no real deeper connection than that. I thought there was something that you missed, and I'm not remembering what it was. The infiltration, it is possible to do it without killing anyone. In theory, it is
everybody.
possible to do it if you can figure out a hook to get in to see the warden, because her room is soundproofed because she's spending all of her time torturing Sedona. So
Cool.
you
So if we had gotten in there, we could have fought her and then taken her like key cards or something.
Yeah, basically. So the issue you run into is like everyone there knows each other, and actually everybody in the prison had a name, which was interesting. You usually don't see. Random guard number 7 is Imides or Jovinus or Aisha or whatever else. So like all of the folks have names, so I can keep track of them. At first, if you are all properly disguised in a way that makes sense, then like, you know, the example that they give is you're bringing in people who are going to be prisoners, which you did, and it worked. You don't even actually have to make your bluff checks at that point because it checks out, it makes sense. It's once you get the prisoners in, like, how do you then convince them to get in to see the warden? Right. And she knows something's up, she's gonna attack you. You kill her, and then you gotta like figure your way out. You can there were zombies on the outside that I don't think you knew about, so you could have potentially like
Murphy ran into them.
Yeah, you could have like jury rigged maybe some way to get Shardik in a spacesuit. If you didn't have Shardik, my guess is you get in the spacesuits, turn off the lights like Murphy did, and then just go back to the entrance, and you can basically do it without a fight or pretty close to it. But you did really well. I was impressed at how well you did, because a couple of times I thought you were kind of screwed.
Well, especially when Murphy by himself turns off the lights and then runs into the warden by himself.
Yeah.
What, are you saying that was a bad plan?
That was a great plan.
Especially when they all had night vision and we didn't.
It worked.
Kinda.
That's what I will say. If they had done a little better, you would have been. You were actually pretty close to. I think you had 2 people down. You were pretty close. Where a couple of, a couple of really good rolls, or really bad rolls on your part, and you could have been in real trouble. But you pulled it out. And then book 3. So what you missed in book 3, there was the entire wing that you did not go to, and I'm just gonna turn off the
to see all
enforced line of sight. So can you see it?
Whoa! There's a whole thing over here.
What?
Yeah. So, and Sedona, are you on this map? You should.
And they're not all bathrooms.
More bathrooms.
Jesus.
So,
Do you see it? Yeah.
There are more bathrooms.
So, Hall D included. Let me pull this open here. So there is he hidden? Oh, where? Yeah, he's hidden.
Yeah, I don't see anybody here.
So there was. I mentioned it a little bit. There was a character who. He's an android. He, and Sedona would have remembered this if she saw him. He was an android who had infiltrated this facility.
Whoa.
Intended to Sedona when she was injured. He got caught. So he was disguised as an Aslanti, as a human. He got caught and was reprogrammed to believe that he was just a janitor. His actual name is Aeon, although he would introduce himself as Sanadrone 12. Let me see. He looks like this. What happens if you find him is he attacks you with his wrench. I don't think it's particularly supposed to be a difficult encounter, but if you get him he can make saves to remember, basically regain his memory. And if you knock him out, he almost gets a free save. He's actually pretty likely to succeed, and then just kind of, drop his wrench and say, sorry, they reprogrammed me, whatever. So he can then give you some more information about what he knows. You can also find Mergerbler's stash, because this area is where... so this area up here to the north is a break room, and then everything else, these are not as nice of facilities as the ones upstairs, which were for the guards. This is where the scientists were. And so you can actually find Mergerbler's stash of improvised weapons in her room.
I know I liked her for a reason.
And you can also find Oliviana's journal, because this is an RPG. Everybody is a journaler. Sorry, it's a holo diary. So you find out more here about the fact that Uli Vestra is doing this. Like, this is a wildcat operation. He does not have authorization for this. He, like...
I suspected as much.
Yeah, he definitely did not have the authority to order the invasion of a Pact Worlds colony. Like, he can't start a war. He's relatively high level. He's not that high. So he was hoping that if the rune drive worked, that he would then, like, he would get just adulation, promotions, and all would be forgiven. That the glory would be worth the risks he's taking. So, and she correctly realizes this, and she's actually, interesting thing, she's actually kind of worried for her scientists, at least her Aslanti scientists. Also, so it is possible, if you discover all the information, actually I'll come back to that afterwards. So that computer you never hacked, it had a bunch of info. So you would get this information about the rune drive, which you pretty much figured out all of it later. He's keeping all of the groups separate. He started drugging them with a stimulant recently, and working everyone really hard. It's why the scientist was super jittery. It's not just me being weird. It's the scientist is, everything's laced with caffeine.
Jeez.
Because he's heard about you. He's heard about Sedona being broken out, and he's kind of in a panic. He's afraid you're coming for him. Turns out he's right. You also could find information like his personal diary here. Talks about how great he is.
Right.
He is referring to
Narcissist.
the arrival of Evandrian. So Evandrian was not connected to Uli Vestra. He's afraid, with good reason, that Evandrian is there to investigate what he's doing. So if you had not killed him and had gotten the opportunity to talk to him, which actually happens during the hostage situation, you can potentially convince Evandrian that Uli Vestra is up to no good, and you can convince him to leave, basically. He would just be like, oh, I have to report this stuff about Uli Vestra. I'm just going to go back to my headquarters. It's going to take me maybe 3 weeks to get back, FYI.
Wow.
So you can't actually convince him to leave. Now, normally, if you don't kill him, he does take part in the final battle, which makes it significantly more difficult. You aren't intended to just be able to steamroll the final boss, because he's supposed to have Evandrian next to him and make it a particularly difficult fight. But your reward for beating Evandrian is that you kind of steamroll the boss. It's great.
Yeah,
The-
but Evandria
the last
steamrolled us.
thing- The last thing is you find this. So that room that you found, the
Yeah,
shrine. What happened with that was he discovered on the Royal Venture, he found armor that belonged to the princess. So the person who owned the Royal Venture was a princess of the Aslanti Star Empire, a member of the Imperial line. He found her personal armor and took it for himself. So the cloth-backed pieces of metal that signify a high Imperial rank, that's what that was. He removed her personal insignia from that and put his own on it. That's what teleported him back to his ship. I don't know how you would get that armor. In theory, you could maybe wrench it away from him and keep him from teleporting, in which case you get like a super powerful relic. You're mostly not intended to do that. But if you find out...
Could that... is it like a techno-magical thing, or like how does it work?
So let me look at it, actually. It's in here. It is statted up as a thing that maybe you could get from the wreckage or something, I guess. Find it. Aslanti Royal Battle Regalia. I think it's probably techno-magical, so it's probably hybrid. It's a 7th level suit of armor, +7 EAC, +8 KAC, no armor check penalty, 4 upgrade slots, an Aeon stone. He had an Aeon stone slotted in it. And if you're reduced to 15 or fewer hit points, it can whisk you away to a target you visualize.
Wow.
It's a magic suit of... So it is magical, actually. It is a magic suit of armor that does not count as a worn magical item. So I interpret that ray of holographic light as, no joke, a sign that he has displeased his goddess. There's no explanation for it, but it's coming from her holy symbol to show you how, like, she is so displeased. And this is kind of I'm the GM, so, like, I think what happens is eventually Uli Vestra is used as an example of what happens when you displease the Star Imperators. Like, he displeased and I don't remember the goddess's name off the top of my head, but if you displease her, if you go above your station, like, these aliens from elsewhere will come and they will kill you for your transgressions. Like, you know, even this, I mean, okay, he's not a super high-ranking noble, but, like, he's still a noble. He's an Aslanti in the Empire, and,
So we were divine justice.
To them, their goddess sent you to, like, destroy him for his hubris. So maybe, I mean, and it's going to be a while, like, when this political situation is different, maybe in a couple hundred years. But I think that story winds up getting told. They probably, and the stories of you grow in the telling, because they don't have really good documentation of you. As sort of indicated by, like, in the first book, they have these sort of stories of what, you know, like, monsters you are and this crazy stuff you've done, stuff like that. So I really liked that it really ties in with their, like, I mean, this deity is lawful evil and you just crossed her, dude. Yeah. And that's most of what you missed, was really from not going to that location and from not being able to successfully hack that computer. A couple of the modules actually get deleted, so they were deleted when you first failed. You could have still gotten some of the other information, but I mean, you guys did really well. There were a couple
Go
of
us.
times, where you did get into danger. But when you had bad luck, it wasn't against a boss. You actually had really good luck in some of the fights that really mattered.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I said for the first 7 or so episodes that I was going to kill somebody. I'm not the type of GM who, like, actually really wants to kill you, especially not in a random way. If you die against a boss, like, that's maybe really great for the story. But you didn't really have any issues with the bosses. And it was fun. The whole thing was fun. But...
Boss
We
rush.
kind of unloaded all of our dailies on the bosses every time we saw them,
It's like,
Yeah,
save it
yeah.
to
I mean,
big guy.
and this one,
so to speak.
if you hadn't killed Evandrian, you would not have been level 7 when you fought that fight, and you would have fought it against both of them
And with no
Ooh.
and with no
with
spell
no
slots.
level 3 spell. Now, you did have the opportunity to sleep. I would have given you one night to sleep before he shows up.
That's good.
Because there is no actual counter for when he shows up. You didn't,
Yeah, but in the moment, it's like, we need to do this as soon as possible.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
any
absolutely.
night slept is one night more that they could
Yeah,
be there. Right?
absolutely. And if you had really dilly-dallied, like, he probably would have shown up with more reinforcements or ambushed you in a place that would have been even worse. The thing that I hoped would happen from the first time I read Book 3 was he could charge you and then use a combat maneuver to push you off the bridge 200 feet. Because that's a thing that Solarians get. So it's Stellar Rush, I think. You can, at the end of it, you can either make an attack or you can replace the attack at the end of the charge with a combat maneuver to shove, which is great for pushing people off a giant ledge. And there's actually no rule in Starfinder for catching a ledge.
Yikes.
Yeah, so it's a lot of falling damage.
Well,
So that's
I'm
it. That's
just
all she
glad
wrote.
that Murphy and Murgleburr live happily ever after.
In your dreams.
That remains to be seen.
In your head canon, at least.
In my headcanon,
Um,
they have beautiful blue cat babies. Ozzy! What the? Ozzy, no!
Ozzy and Bobbert forever.
Okay,
Ozzy and
Bobbert.
are the
Bobbert
hero.
does receive MVP award of the campaign.
Bobbert was fantastic.
Bobbert was great.
yeah.
The best of
Yeah.
us, truly.
Yeah, and I like that everybody did well. Like, people say that operatives are overpowered, and I kind of believe that
They
to
are.
an extent because Murphy did probably the most damage while also having the most skill points.
MVP.
I mean that trick attack, especially at really high level, does just buckets of damage. But nobody was useless. Everybody did really well. Does anybody else have any final thoughts or any questions about anything?
Great job, Patrick. You did an excellent job running this campaign. It was
I had
very
fun.
fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Good job spacing it up for us.
That's right.
For sure.
Yeah, this was fantastic. It's a totally. It feels like a totally different beast from just a straight fantasy setting.
Yes.
Because I felt like I had more agency to do like really weird things, like reprogram a computer to, I don't know, do something.
Yeah.
To make the elevator come back down.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
'Cause I
he
know how
wouldn't have killed
technology works.
Lyson, but you wouldn't have seen Zyson again.
Yeah, I was not expecting to survive that. That was like, whew,
Yeah.
here's my dramatic side story. I guess I'm gonna have to pick up with a scientist. Hey, I'm random scientist who happens to also be a X.
Yeah, you would
I
have
would also
been
be a Solarian.
Yeah, you would have been an infiltrator, I think is what it would be. You would. I mean, honestly, maybe you pick up his Aereo.
Yeah.
He's
Bum we didn't get to see him.
he's statted up as a mechanic, but You know, he could just be like a soldier or something. I did like the way that they put stuff in the back matter to allow you to make new characters. Like, there's the Aslanti Star Empire aliens in Book 2, so that if somebody dies on Outpost Z, hey, you can play an Aslanti alien who doesn't like the Aslanti.
That would have been interesting.
I know I probably could have been more captain-y and more direct, so sorry for not
No, it was
taking control of some of the...
it was guiding with a soft but firm hand. It's like
You're believing in freedom.
listen. Yeah.
It's interesting because, like, in no other, or very rarely in an RPG, do you have somebody who's like supposed to be in charge. It's kind of an artifact of the, you know, you have a starship, you know.
Yeah. Someone named Captain on the Starship Combat. It's like, well, I'm looking to you to be the leader.
You could absolutely run it and just reflavor the captain as, like, the counselor, right?
Right.
You're Deanna Troi, right?
Yeah.
Who sometimes maybe gets pissed in a way that Deanna Troi doesn't very much. You know, like, you're just encouraging people, and maybe you don't have it. You could totally run that where you don't have a captain.
You're like a diplomat, sort of, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Julia was our companion.
yeah. Who was
Our
Dr. Who?
onboard companion.
Chardek, probably. Well, that was fun, y'all. But we're not done. We're moving on, because I hear back on Lost Scholarian, there's something going on with Plaguestone.
Before
That's
it was
something.
lost.
Back in the olden times. Ooh.
Wait,
I won't even show that too closely.
Yes.
New olden times.
Yes. What we're going to be playing
Everybody
now
needs
is
prequels.
going to be technically a prequel. A very, very long
Very
extended
long
series
time
of
ago.
prequels.
Unknown time ago. Pre-Vast.
Yeah.
Pre-Gap.
A little bit.
That pretty much can't have anything to do with it because of time.
Time BS.
Gaps.
There's always references.
It's like Doctor Who.
Ooh. And with that, good night to this beloved crew of the Red Abbey and their awesome adventures into and against the Aeon throne. Good night, Godspeed. We'll see you back on Golarion.